nothing new to say here. Let's just get straight to it. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm the Grizz, and remember those QB rankings that I did, the power rankings for quarterbacks in 2025 that I once did? I'll make sure to put that video at the end for y'all to watch, because that one's a little interesting to me. I'm sure a lot of people have done it, but those are just kind of my rankings. Pretty, self-explanatory ones too. I'm going to continue on with this series. This time, we're going with 2025 wide receivers. I'm not doing 1s and 2s, no slots. Yeah, because if I put slots in there, that would take like an hour. Because there's like 32 teams, and if you have 3 receivers, that's 96 players. God. But anyways, if you are still looking for the playlist for Season 2, make sure to see it in the description, so you guys can go watch every single episode of that season, so you're all caught up, and you also have it for future episodes. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Without further delay, let's rank some wide receivers. If you see the thumbnail to be post-camp, I do apologize. This is kind of the midway point through training camp right now. So you can see all these tier lists. This is how I'm going to be ranking these. So we have the receivers that are the best of the best, pretty much the best receivers in the entire game. Then we got very good option, as in not exactly the best, but they're also not bad at all. They're really, really good as well. Then we got middle of the pack receivers that are like right around the top half, maybe high bottom half, so like 17 and 18 sort of. Midpoint of like a 32 teams would be like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Then we got below average. They're not completely awful, but they're not exactly as good as others. Then we got bottom of the barrel, the receivers that are just pretty much hot garbage. Let's kick this list off with Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson of the Cardinals. For Marvin Harrison, I'm actually going to put him in middle of the pack. He's not exactly bad, but I'm not going to give up on him just yet. He has a lot of untapped potential. It's just his quarterback's name is Kyler Murray. He did struggle quite a bit his rookie year, but I'm sure his second year would be a little bit better, right? As for Michael Wilson, I'll just put him in below average right now. I'm not saying he's a bad receiver, it's just he was, kind of not exactly shown as much love as much. Doesn't mean he's a terrible wideout, it's just he doesn't get as much attention as guys like, rookies like Travis Hunter. There's also Brian Thomas, of course. There was also a guy named Greg Dortch who sort of outperformed him in a couple games. But anyways, I'm not sure. This is not because Wilson's a bad wideout, it's just they're just guys that would take over him. Moving on to the Falcons, Darnell Mooney. Oh, wait, no, he was injured in training camp just recently. So it's Drake London and Ray McLeod. First off, let's get the easy part of the way out. Drake London, very good option. Pretty self-explanatory. He had over 1,000 receiving yards last year, and he was proving himself to be a good wide receiver 1 for the Falcons. And with Michael Penix at the helm, he'll hopefully have a very monster season, kind of like a Julio Jones when he was with Matt Ryan for a while. As for Ray McLeod, I don't know too much about him, so I'll just put him in below average right now. Not because he's terrible, it's just there are guys out there that I'd rather take than Ray. Golden name, by the way. Up next, I'm going to make a little bit of exception because all 3 of these guys are pretty daggum good at what they're doing at receiver. So it's Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, and DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not sure who's the wide receiver 3. I feel like it could be Bateman because 1 and 2 would be Flowers and Hopkins. I'll start with DeAndre. He is middle of the pack. Not terrible, but not as good as he was in his prime with Houston. Had a pretty bad Super Bowl performance against Philadelphia. I mean, what can you do against that Philly defense? He was like okay, but I gotta be honest, he's kind of washed. As for Zay Flowers, still tough. I'm between very good option and middle of the pack because he actually had a really good year last year. Sure, why not? I'll put him in very good option. He had a monster season with Lamar Jackson as the number 1 wideout. As far as how I'm going to view him, he's more of like on the low end of very good option. I'm between very good option and middle of the pack for him, but he is a good receiver. As for Rashad Bateman, middle of the pack, but Bateman is a very good wideout with lots of untapped potential that Ravens still need to unlock. He got a recent extension of a couple years, so very nice on him. He's being paid like sort of like a wide receiver too, to be honest. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from that Ravens offense, or rather that Ravens team, if we're talking about that. Moving on to the Bills, Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. As for Khalil Shakir, I'll say middle of the pack. He wasn't that bad of a receiver for Buffalo. He was kind of the guy who had the most receiving yards or something like that for the Bills. Sort of one of the worst receiving corps in Buffalo, but hey, Josh Allen makes him a lot better than they think. As for Keon Coleman, hate to say it, but I gotta put him in the below average. He has just kind of been underwhelming. Not ragging on Keon Coleman, but for a guy that was drafted in the first round, or maybe it was the early second round, I can't remember. He was pretty disappointing in his rookie season, so maybe he could bounce back his second year. Who knows? For the Bears, we got DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. DJ Moore, he had some great years at Carolina. For the Bears, I still believe in him. I think he's a very good option. Can't help an offense if you don't have a good offensive line, and unfortunately, it's not his fault that they had a terrible offensive line and bad coaching for 12, 13 games. It's a good thing they got rid of Matt Eberflus and traded him for Ben Johnson so he could unlock this offense's potential here. As for Dunze, I still believe in him. Right now, I gotta put him in the middle of the pack. He was underwhelming his rookie year for being a top 10 pick, but I do still think he can turn that whole thing around on his head. Again, it was due to bad coaching and bad offensive line. Next up, we got Carolina, Ted McMillan, and I can't remember who's the wide receiver too. Is it Xavier Legette? Oh no, it's Adam Thielen. I'll start with Adam. I'll start with Ted McMillan. Sure, let's put him middle of the pack. I think, yeah, that's a big spot for him. 8th overall pick in the 2025 draft. He's like 6'4", 220 pounds. Bryce Young has improved from the past season, so maybe he can get a little kickstart with Bryce Young throwing to him. Please don't turn into Kyler Murray, cursed to be only have one good season. As for Adam Thielen, I think he's kind of washed right now. He's had his good years with Minnesota. Unfortunately, Carolina's kind of where he's going to pretty much finish his career and retire. He had a good 2023 when he had just over 1,000 yards, and unfortunately he did decline. The guy's 34 years old too, so it's not looking good for Adam Thielen right now. He might be on his way out of the league as far as retirement goes. Oh, here's the good one. Jamar Chase to T. Higgins of the Bengals. Let's get Jamar Chase out of the way first. Best of the best. No one can dispute it. Triple Crown winner from last year. 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, 120 receptions. There's a reason why he was a part of the 99 club. And as for T. Higgins, of course, gotta go very good option. They have one of the best receiving corps in the game. Chase got paid big money. T. Higgins got paid pretty big. I mean, you can't go wrong with this team at all. Well, offensively. Defense, that's a different story. For the Cleveland Browns, it's Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. First off, Jerry Jeudy coming off his Pro Bowl season. I guess I'll put him in middle of the pack, maybe high end of that. Love Jerry Jeudy. Loved it when he was on Denver, but unfortunately he was just underutilized. He had a lot of potential that just wasn't going to happen in Denver. And of all places, he went to Cleveland, and he became a Pro Bowler somehow. I don't know how the hell that happened, but hey, that's great on him. For Cedric Tillman, I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's going to be better than any of the guys above in the middle of the pack. He was kind of forgotten if you think about it. Browns receiving corps besides Jerry Jeudy is just kind of non-existent. Next up, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Let's get CeeDee out of the way. Best of the best, and no one can say otherwise. Top 5 receiver in the league, and it's not even close, maybe even top 3. He was the bright spot on that Cowboys offense besides Rico Dowdle, and you know about it. Jake Ferguson was good too. But if we're talking brightest spot on the offense, it's CeeDee. And now George Pickens. I mean, he has a lot of talent. He's a douchebag though. I guess he's a very good option. I guess. I would say low end a very good option. I still think that he will be a very talented wide receiver. It's just he needs to stop being an absolute asshole. You know, I would have loved to see George Pickens and DK Metcalf on the same team, but he's on a team with a better wide receiver one, the DK. Next up for the Broncos, we got, I believe it's Courtland Sutton and Marvin Mims. Let's start with Courtland Sutton. He is a very good option. Like, come on, stop underrating this guy. He's been the only really good wide receiver for Denver for like a few years now. And they're still looking for that wide receiver too that can take the pressure off Sutton. As for Marvin Mims, he's speed, but he can catch the ball. He's a sneaky good pass catcher. I'll put him in the middle of the pack. He's not bad by any means. It's just, well, he's not as well-rounded of a receiver as Sutton. He's more of like kind of your return guy, kind of like Kevontae Turpin. And I didn't even know about this, but he's 23 years old, so that's not even that bad. And now, of course, we got Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams. Let's start with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, best of the best. Oh yeah, by the way, Drake London's on the high end, a very good option. He's really good. Amon-Ra just had a really better season. And his team went 15-2. They were more of like a well-balanced offense. Great rushing game, great passing game. I mean, it was just good all around him. St. Brown was one of the guys who really stood out. As far as a wide receiver goes, definitely a top 5 wideout in the league. As for Jameson Williams, I guess I'll put him on the high end of middle of the pack. Didn't get as many catches, but he did get just over 1,000 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. That's not too bad. It'll be interesting to see how this offense will do without Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator. Up next is the Packers. I believe it's Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed as your starters. I'm actually going to put both of them in the middle of the pack. So Jaden Reed will be there, and so will Matthew Golden. I'm surprised he's wearing 22 in the Packers. Reed had a pretty solid season, 850 yards. It's just Packers haven't really had a number one receiver since Davante Adams left. I would say Jaden Reed's more of on the high end of middle of the pack. He's pretty good. It's just he wouldn't be a guy that I would want to have as a starting receiver on a fantasy league. Yeah, if you were picking a fantasy league, you wouldn't really take him over Courtland Sutton or T. Higgins or Zay Flowers. As for Matthew Golden, he's a rookie. I'm not sure how he's going to do, but I do believe him being on outside receiver could actually pay dividends for the Packers and Jordan Love. But again, we need to see more. Houston Texans, it's Nico Collins and Christian Kirk. First off, Nico Collins, very good option. Several 100-yard games, long touchdowns for consecutive games. He's a really good option to have on your team. Sure, he didn't have that as many catches as you would have hoped in a guy like Nico Collins, but he still made a good impact on that team, on that offense. As for Christian Kirk, he was pretty disappointing, but at the end of the day, Jaguars completely fell apart. I would say high end of the middle of the pack for Christian Kirk. It was just a shame that he got paid that ridiculous contract. I mean, it started out great in 2022, but then it just completely fell apart with injuries and all that. I do believe if Christian Kirk is healthy, he will be just fine. For the Colts, it's Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce. This is kind of the more well-rounded wide receiver room. You got Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and Michael Pittman, all very above-average receivers. I think Michael Pittman is just barely on very good option, but he is very good. He has a lot of talent on his side. It's just the question is really going to be who's going to be throwing the ball to him. Anthony Richardson wasn't really giving him a shot. Also because of the fact that Anthony Richardson is freaking terrible and they need to start having a fucking clue. I'm talking about Colts fans. How are we still believing in Anthony Richardson? Did you not see the season that he was healthy and he gave up mid-season? Like, come on, this guy is terrible. As for Alec Pierce, am I going to put him in the same category? No, I will put him in the middle of the pack, though, above guys like Matthew Golden and some other players I don't even know. I don't know where to rank him above in the receivers in the middle of the pack. Maybe on the high spectrum, maybe like 4 or 5, but middle of the pack seems fair. He had a good 800-yard season. It's just, yeah, again, it's the quarterback. Jonathan Taylor is also an elite running back as well, so there's that as well. Up next, it's Jacksonville. It's Brian Thomas, and I'm looking at the depth chart right now. The second receiver is Travis Hunter. Let's start with Brian Thomas, and as far as him goes, Definitely high end, a very good option. He absolutely killed it his rookie season. I mean, after a 1,300-yard, 10-touchdown performance at the receiving end, why wouldn't you take him in the second or third rounds? Maybe even late first if you're in a 14-team league. Especially with guys like De'Ami Brown and Travis Hunter taking the coverage off him, Ryan Thomas could be dangerous. And then, of course, Travis Hunter, I think I'll put him in like the midway point of middle of the pack. Just for right now, because he is a rookie. He is a rookie, but he also has a lot of talent to play both sides of the ball here. My boy Travis, man, go make the league a living hell. You know I'm going to be supporting you. So Kansas City Chiefs is a little weird. It's actually Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy because Rashee Rice will be serving a multiple game suspension this year. As for Xavier Worthy, I do still think he is only middle of the pack. I don't think he's as good as people say he is. He's pretty much all speed, no brakes, and unfortunately no brakes means not great route running. I guess he'll be decent, but he won't be, that game-changing receiver like Tyreek Hill. As for Hollywood Brown, he's not exactly bottom of the barrel, but he is going to be pretty disappointing. He'll be below average. It just sucks that Hollywood Brown has had injuries completely derail his career. Now he's on Kansas City where he's still getting hurt. For the Vegas Raiders, it's Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. Starting with Jacoby Myers, he is very underrated, but he is also a very good option. Had 1,000 yards, 87 catches, more than anybody would have guessed for a guy like him as far as being a New England Patriot. But this guy is better than a lot of people give him credit for just because he's on the Raiders. He was a damn good receiver. It's just the Raiders didn't exactly have a great quarterback until now Geno Smith is on there now. At least with Geno, he could provide some stability at the quarterback spot, so we could see a good season again from Jacoby. As for Trey Tucker, would I take him over guys in the middle of the pack? That would be a big fat no. Did have 500 yards. He wasn't terrible, but I don't think he's going to be as good as others. That's pretty much what below average kind of is. Oh, here's the part I wanted to get to. The Chargers, Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston. First off, I need to get the guy who I said was going to be the breakout player of the year out of the way, Quentin Johnston. He is going to be a high-end player on the middle of the pack. I don't think he will be as impactful as the guy is a very good option, but I do think he's still going to have a much better season than even last year. It's been said that he has actually had been more comfortable run routes, so he's getting a lot better than people give him credit for. He struggled his rookie season, people wrote him off, then he actually had a bounce back year in 2024, and now it's time to prove people that they should have taken you ages ago. It's time to go ham. As for Ladd McConkey, I think he'll be on the high end and middle of the pack as well. It's just I wouldn't take him over guys in the very good options here. But he is a good receiver. He had a really good rookie season last year, and he's only going to build on that, especially with Justin Herbert and also the run game being a lot better than it used to be. Offensive line should give Herbert a lot of time to throw the ball. I mean, as talented as it is, it should be a good passing season, at least for a receiving season, for that receiving core for the Chargers. LA Rams, one of the most talented receiving rooms in the league. It's Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Starting with Puka Nacua, you already know he was my offensive player of the year pick for this year. I'm going to put him in best of the best. He's probably going to be my number 5 receiver in the league, but this guy is incredible. I think he was breaking receiving records left and right in his rookie year, and then, of course, they got broken by Brock Bowers, or was it Malik Neighbors? I think it was Bowers. But that doesn't mean that Puka Nacua wasn't a beast, because he was a monster. And he's also a great guy, too. He's a great team player. As far as Devontae Adams, yeah, no questions asked. He's still a very good option, even at his age, which is really cool. I know me dragging the names to the board is a little laggy, so kind of just bear with me here. I mean, he had a pretty solid season with Aaron Rodgers, but I'm sure he's going to have an even better season with Matt Stafford throwing him the football. And I mean a much better season. For the Dolphins, it's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle for right now. I was going to put him in the same tier, but looking at what's going on with Tyreek Hill, the declining thing, I have a decision to put Tyreek Hill in middle of the pack and decided to put Jalen Waddle in the very good option tier. As for Tyreek Hill, he's starting to sort of decline a little bit. He's also 31 years old. He's got some off-the-field situations going on. Yeah, he just isn't the same player that he was at Kansas City. He had that one great year in Miami. I think it was 2022, the first year that he was there, but then he started to kind of fall off a bit. I'll still put him in like the 6th or 7th spot of the middle of the pack from highest, best to worst of the tier. As for Jalen Waddle, I still think he is a very talented wide receiver. Despite the quarterback situation, I think he'll still have a very good season this year. Next up, we got Jordan Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison on the Minnesota Vikings. First off, get Jefferson out of the way. Yeah, he is one of the best of the best. Probably the number 2 receiver in the league. I mean, 100 catches, 10 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. You can't go wrong with that. He has been one of the best receivers in the league ever since he got drafted. No questions need to be asked here. As for Jordan Addison, I do think he is a good option, a very good option. I mean, J.J. McCarthy's got some weapons. He's got Aaron Jones. He's got Jordan Mason, who could also be a receiving back. He's got Addison, Jefferson. He got T.J. Hawkinson also to throw to. I mean, if you can rate any of these quarterbacks' great situations, J.J. McCarthy might be right at the top. As far as 2024 rookie quarterbacks, amazing head coach, incredible weapons. I mean, you can't get any better than that. For New England Patriots, I think it's Stephon Diggs and Demario Douglas. As much as I hate to say it, I gotta put these two in the same category. Diggs and Douglas at the middle of the pack. Douglas had a very decent season with New England when they had one of the worst rosters in the league. Jeremiah got dealt a bad hand, got fired. But now with Mike Vrabel, he could transform into a really good rideout. As for Diggs, he's a diva. He got injured last year. I don't think he's going to be as impactful as he was with the Vikings and Bills. As soon as he left Buffalo, it just been kind of downhill for Diggs. New Orleans Saints, it's Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. I'm going to do the same thing that I just did for the Patriots. Olave's on the high end of middle of the pack. Rashid Shaheed right around the middle as well. Olave has been kind of having some injury derailments in his career, but he is a very talented receiver. I'll give him that. Maybe like 7th or 8th, perhaps, now that I look at this list. Rashid Shaheed, I mean, I would put him in like the middle of this entire list so far. I mean, Rashid Shaheed has been kind of that underrated guy that you never want to line up against, because you let him get past you, you're going to get embarrassed. I speak as a Falcons fan that Shaheed is not somebody you want to get ratted up by. New York Giants, Malik Neighbors, and I think it's Darius Slayton at the 2. Oh, never mind. It's Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's start off with Malik Neighbors. Obviously, he is a very good option. I would say he was kind of a top 13 receiver in the league, maybe top 14. Not exactly up there with the best of the best, but he had a very good rookie season with Daniel Jones, and then was it Drew Lock throwing him the football, and then also Tommy Cutlets. Now he's got more quarterback stability with Russell Wilson. Maybe. But he should put in some more impressive numbers on there in the second year. As for Wan'Dale Robinson, I honestly had no expectations for either one of these two. I'll just put both of them in below average. I'm not exactly expecting much from Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton. They're not the most important receivers in the entire team. It's really just Malik Neighbors' show here in the receiving corps. And they also got a two-headed monster at running back, Cam Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy. That duo will go off. Surprisingly for the Jets, it's Josh Reynolds and Garrett Wilson. I'm going to just get Josh Reynolds out of the way. Not exactly any expectations for him. He'll be just below average. I don't exactly have much to say about him. He's been a kind of a journeyman, but he's been solid. But that's just kind of what he was. Whatever team he played for, he would always play solid, but not exactly great to be a wide receiver 1. But as far as Garrett Wilson goes, I mean, he's a very reliable option for the Jets. Even if they are the Jets, Garrett Wilson does stand out as one of the bright spots for that team. Oh, here we go. Super Bowl champ Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Both of those two are going in very good option, no questions asked. People need to stop overrating A.J. Brown. He's not a top 5 receiver in the league. I know, he got a Super Bowl ring now. That's great. He's still a very good wideout. It's just, when you compare him to guys like Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, and Amon St. Brown, it kind of makes you scratch your head. He's a talented top 10 wide receiver, but not top 5. Devontae Smith, Slim Reaper, he's also a very good complement to A.J. Brown. I mean, when you have to focus on A.J. Brown, it leaves Smith open. When you have to focus on Smith, it leaves A.J. Brown open. Don't depend on Jahan Dotson, though. At least not in the regular season. I don't know where the hell he came from, but he showed up in the playoffs, and people are like, where's this been the whole time? You can't go wrong with AJ or Devontae, though. For Pittsburgh, it's DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin. DK is extremely talented. He's been nearly a 1,000-yard receiver every season he played in Seattle. Now he got traded to Pittsburgh. He'll be a nice little wide receiver 1 for Aaron Rodgers in his farewell tour in Pittsburgh. The team he played as a Packer and beat in the Super Bowl, the first one he went to. But in all honesty, Aaron Rodgers is going to have his hands full, especially with DK Metcalf being a wide receiver 1 and demanding the football. As far as Calvin Austin, I mean, come on, man. Arthur Smith, you're going to utilize this man a lot more than you should. Don't get me wrong, he does get you some good yards, he gets you some points. It's just, when you compare him to other guys on the middle of the pack, I just don't see much of comparison there for Calvin Austin to have a good advantage over. In other words, I really had no expectations for Austin. San Francisco 49ers, it's Brandon Ayuk and Jawan Jennings. Ayuk will be injured for, I believe, the first half of the season, or at least the first few games, so it will be Jennings and Pearsall for the first couple weeks, but right now as it stands, 1 and 2 is Ayuk and Jennings. Brandon Ayuk had a really good 2023, unfortunately got injured before he can, have that kind of same level of productivity in 2024, but I still think he's a very good option for San Francisco. And you know what? I know he had some standout games for all the good reasons. I think Jawan Jennings could also be on the low end of a very good option. He's still a very nice wide receiver 3, but now he's a wide receiver 2, so it's going to be a little different. Ayuk is as talented as he is. Jennings is really the only question mark for the wide receiver 1 and 2s. But I'm sure Jawan Jennings is still a very nice receiver. I mean, come on. The guy almost had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 77 catches. You can't go wrong with him. Again, I would put Jennings at the low end, a very good option. But he is still a good receiving target for San Francisco. Seahawks, it's Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith-Njigba. I hate to have to do this because I like the guy, but Cooper Kupp, unfortunately for me, is going to have to go on middle of the pack, but on the high end, like second or third receiver on the middle of the pack. He's really good. He had a Triple Crown receiving season. I mean, he was a very good receiver for a while. Fortunately, injuries have kind of cost him some time in his career, and I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome this, especially with the offense that he went from. He went from very good offense with Puka Nacua as his wide receiver 2 to an offense now that has really not very much offensive line help. He really went down from Matt Stafford to Sam Darnold, but it's not that bad, not as bad as people think. I mean, Sam Darnold's coming off a Pro Bowl season, but going into a new system, going from Kevin O'Connell to Mike McDonald, I don't think he's going to have exactly the same success as he did in Minnesota. As for Jackson Smith-Njigba, would I put him in the same league or in the same situation as Garrett Wilson and Jordan Addison? My answer to that is yes. Solid season with Geno Smith, and now he's got a guy who's coming off a Pro Bowl season, Sam Darnold, thrown to him. If he has time to throw the football, Sam Darnold can find Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith-Njigba to be very reliable targets. He does have a pretty nice receiving core out there. Up next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Let's, you know what? I'm not going to waste too much time on this. Just put both of them in very good option because that's exactly what they are. No offense to anybody who's a Falcons fan and hates the Buccaneers, but let's just say this is the truth. Evans is on a 1,000-yard receiving season streak. Chris Godwin, he got injured, but he was playing very well before the injury. And especially with one of the best offensive lines in the league, great running back at Bucky Irvin, Baker Mayfield, one of the top 10 QBs in the league. You can't go wrong with that offense. And the defense, Levante David, Flash Kansas, Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield. You cannot go wrong with Tampa Bay here. Let me tell you, despite the head coach, Todd Bowles, this team's the real deal. Tennessee Titans. This is a little tricky. I think it's Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett, if I'm not mistaken. As far as Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett, I'll put Lockett in below average. And as for Calvin Ridley, I will put him in middle of the pack. Lockett had probably one of his worst seasons of his career. Maybe he still has some juice left, but he is getting older, so I'm not exactly, not exactly thinking it will happen. As for Calvin Ridley, I'm still mad that we got rid of him because this guy had so much talent. He was one of the best receivers on our team, and he looked like he was going to take over for Julio Jones in his absence, but unfortunately we got rid of him because of the gambling, and he's turned into a pretty solid receiver for himself. This guy isn't bad, but I don't think he's as good as guys that are up there on the very good option list and some of the guys in the middle of the pack that I already got there. The final team is Washington, and their players are Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. You know what, thinking about this, let's just get rid of this bottom of the barrel team because I put nobody in there. And I don't plan on putting them in there because they're not bottom of the barrel receivers at all. As for Terry McLaurin, he is definitely one of the top receivers in the league as far as top 11 or 12. I'm putting him a very good option. As far as Deebo, I'm going high end of the middle pack. Terry McLaurin had probably his most successful season in his career with now a very reliable quarterback in Jane Daniels. And maybe Deebo Samuel will have kind of the same treatment. Deebo Samuel had one good year, got paid a ton of money, and then he's been kind of underwhelming ever since he got that contract. Maybe a fresh start in Washington's what he needs right now, at least to get back to the level that he wants to play. And that is going to do it for the wide receiver tier list heading into the preseason. Well, you can look at the entire list. I had to scroll all the way down because of all the middle of the packs and very good option wideouts that I picked. And ladies and gentlemen, this is 64 receivers on every single team. Actually 65 if you include the Ravens players that I put on here. But anyways, good luck to every single NFL receiving core out there on the season for 2025. And that'll do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash that like button, hit the red subscribe button, like I said, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizz signing off for now, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.